Hello, I'm Tristan Barelli, and welcome to Faces of UCM. Our guest today is Kase Glidwell, a seasoned rock climber here on campus. Thanks for being here today, Kase.
Thanks for having me.
So, what inspired you to start rock climbing?
Well, it was actually a friend of mine during my junior year of high school. He took me to a rock climbing gym in Blue Springs, and I immediately fell in love with it. Just being there on the routes, climbing up them, it was just some of the most fun I had had in a while.
Oh, where do you like to go rock climbing? You mentioned Blue Springs.
Yeah, there's a gym out in Blue Springs called Ibex. That's where I started climbing originally. Since then, another gym in Kansas City opened, ROKC, fantastic gym. There's the rock wall here on campus that I enjoy climbing on, and then basically anywhere outdoors where there's a route, I love climbing.
Oh, which one do you prefer, like, out of the gyms?
ROKC would probably be the best. It has a fantastic bouldering section, which is where you're climbing without any ropes and there's pads beneath you. They're a lot shorter routes. And then a great indoor, like, tall wall climbing.
So now would you prefer indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor climbing, definitely. That's my favorite. The views when you get up to the top of routes is just so satisfying, and that feeling of being up there is just the best thing ever.
For outdoor climbing, does the weather affect you at all? Like, like the walls wet or anything?
Yeah, cold days definitely make it a lot more difficult to climb. Your hands get kind of cold on the walls. So.
You mentioned that bouldering was your favorite, correct?
Yeah, bouldering's my favorite. Just the routes are a lot shorter, but require a lot more power and skill to get through. And something about that, almost like a sprint, is just so much fun to do.
What kind of equipment do you usually have to take with you to climb?
Climbing is great that it doesn't really require that much equipment to get started. All you need is a pair of shoes, a harness, an ATC and carabiner, which is what a belayer uses to keep you up on the wall with the rope to keep slack out, and then a chalk bag.
And then what do you use the chalk for?
Chalk just makes it a lot easier to climb. You chalk up your hands, and when they start sweating, it keeps them dry. It also gives you better friction on the rocks and just makes it a lot easier to get up.
What's the most challenging thing, in your opinion, about rock climbing?
Honestly, just getting better at it. It's easy to just go and start climbing. Anybody can do it, but to get better, get to harder routes, and just actually develop that skill and the power that you need for it is really difficult, but at the same time, really gratifying. I really enjoy the experience.
Is there anywhere that you want to go climb that you haven't yet?
I'd like to someday go climb in Yosemite. It's kind of the pinnacle for rock climbers to go there. So I'd love to go there and do some of the famous routes that are there along El Capitan, a really long route that's famous and very difficult, but I would love to go there someday to climb.
Do you know how high those walls would be?
People climbing up the Dawn Wall in El Cap, it usually actually takes them a couple days to climb it. Those people actually wind up having to sleep on the wall. You have these basically a platform that you sleep on, you put in the wall and sleep on, but it looks like it would be a lot of fun to do someday.
And it takes several days to make it to the top?
Yeah, usually 2 or 3 days for most people.
Do you ever go climbing with the club here at UCM?
Yeah, I actually took a trip with them my freshman year down to Arkansas. It was just a weekend we spent down there. We were climbing, and it was just a great time. And then they also have some weekend trips occasionally. Just go down for a day down to Truman Lake and climb some of the routes around here.
What's the most gratifying part, would you say, about rock climbing?
The best part would probably be when climbing outdoors, when you get to the top of a route, just being able to look around and see how you're so high up, and just that you were able to get yourself up there, just you, is just an amazing experience and probably one of the best feelings.
Well, thank you for coming in and sharing with us today, Kase. That's all the time we have here today, but I'm Tristan Barelli. We'll see you next time on Faces of UCM.